Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Salma and this is my booktube. So I thought that it would be better if I filmed my October wrap up now because I'm going to be busy over the next couple days. So I have a signing tomorrow and I have like university and writing stuff to do. So I thought just to get on it, I'd film my October wrap up now. Now, I didn't read as many books as I thought I did, just because I was in a reading slump at the beginning of the month. And then I got back into writing, so that took over my life a little bit. And so yeah, let me find my Canva, because I do have a book journal, but I also just keep them in like a little Canva thing. So I read 7 books this month. One of them was online, or technically 2, but I have the physical copy of it. One of them was online, just like a quick novella type of thing to get me back into reading. That's usually how I break out of a slump. So I'm gonna go in order of the books like I read from first to last. So let me just organize these in that order. Okay, so like I said, I read one of them online. It's called Mother Parker. It's an like sort of novella type of thing. I really liked it. I don't really rate like those type of books because like I just read them for fun because I know there's gonna be like a fun spicy time. So the second book I read was Petrie by Emily Henry. If you don't know what this is about, this is about August and January. And January inherits this house from her dad who passed away, and she has to go to this town that this house is in, or lake house. Is it lake house or house? Something like that. So she has to go and like pack it up and sell it, and so she's a writer, and so is August. They were in college together, and she has writer's block, so they end up being neighbors, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I love this book. I read this book back in September to annotate for a friend. Absolutely adored it. Or is it August? Like, end August, early September, I think. Loved it. Couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was like, in a slump, and I didn't know what to do. So I just picked it up and reread it and annotated it. And yeah, I aspire to have writing as beautiful as Emily Henry. So, obvious 5 stars. Also, if you've been on my channel before, you know that I'm not like a harsh rater. Most of my books are 5 stars, if not infinity. The only thing like that would differ between them is if I'm like constantly thinking about it. That'll make it like one of my top favorite books, or like if I can stop talking about it, like Addicted Calloway, Boys of Tommen, Magnolia Parks. Like those are like my all-time favorite series. Icebreaker, Brutal Birthright, like that type of thing. If I don't stop talking about it, if you know me, if like the first thing you think of when you think of me is like those series, that's how you know how much I love them. But I'm not a harsh rater. I give most of my books 5 stars, if not all. So, just putting that out there in case anyone is wondering. I then read Wildfire because my copy was coming in, but my friend was like, I'm reading it right now, and I was like, okay, F it, and I started it with her. And so, I read Wildfire. I absolutely adored the story. Russ and Aurora are just like two of my favorite like one of my favorite couples of all time. The communication between them, yes, there was miscommunication, but it was like splintered into the story so well that it felt realistic. If you don't know what this is about, what are you doing? First of all. And second of all, this is the second book in the Maplehurst series. It's after Icebreaker, but you can read them as standalones. This is about Russ and Aurora. Russ is one of the hockey players on Nate's team from Icebreaker, but we don't get much of him. And this begins when Aurora is literally ending a fling with, god damn it, what's his name? What is his name? What's his name? Ryan. Oh my god, I don't know why I blanked. Ryan. So she's ending a fling with Ryan, who Stassi in the first book also had a fling with before she got with Nate. So there's that. And what ends up happening is Aurora is going off for the summer to work at this summer camp to like try to get her life back together, and Russ is also going to the summer camp. But what they didn't know is that they hooked up one night, and the next morning or like the day after, they find out that they're working at the same summer camp. And there's like no fraternization in that summer camp, so that tension like builds and builds and builds, and they become friends, and then we all know where the story goes from there. So yeah. I basically said what's on the back. I love this so much. I think I would love it even the second time around, because that's what happened with Icebreaker. I loved it the first time, and I absolutely adored it when I reread it. So yeah, highly recommend. Hannah Grace is one of my favorite authors. And then I read one of my most awaited books from my friends, because they've been dying to get me to read this. And I finally did it. I read Long Way Down. Now you might be thinking, Salma, didn't you start this series last year? And I would be telling you, yes, I read Addicted to You in March last year. So it's been a year and 7 months since I started this series. And I still haven't finished it because I still have... Move over. I still have Some Kind of Perfect to read. And then I have the Bad Rap Duet to read. So I still haven't finished this series, and I also have the kids series to read. So there's that. 1 second. Don't leave just yet. Look who's here. This is Giggles. Giggles, say hi. She's our little Persian cat. And now I think she's sick of me. But let's continue. So yeah, so I read Long Way Down. Absolutely adored it, as usual. Cried my eyes out. Still think about the events of this book every single day. Like literally, I was listening to a song and it immediately brought me back to a scene in this book and in how I thought. And then I started crying. That's how obsessed I am. So if you haven't started this series, please start it. Check trigger warnings though, because it's not an easy series to read. But I do recommend it. What are you doing? Red Bull break. Do you want to go out? I was letting my cat out. Anyways, next I read, also in that same read, so forgot to say, I read this in a reading vlog If you want to know my full reactions, it'll be in that. I didn't show much of me reading it, but I did talk about it, so I'll link that in the description. Also, in that same reading vlog, I read Guilt by Geneva Lee. This is, I honestly don't know how to explain this book because it's one of those books that is so easily spoiled. So I'm gonna try my best. So this book is about Emma, and when it starts, it's like the last day of her junior year in high school. It's in Vegas, and basically her and her friend go to this party. A murder ends up happening. She ends up meeting someone, and it goes from there. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all you need to know. Check trigger warnings because it does deal with heavy topics. I did really love this book. One thing about it that intrigued me the most was the plot, because there's like a mystery element going on that I was just dying to find out what happened next. And I genuinely am not even kidding. I still think about the plot twist of this book every single day. Like, I read this in the beginning of the month. I still think about this plot twist every single day. I haven't read anything like it. I would say it's sort of similar to Magnolia Parks in the way that it's like high society Las Vegas, sort of. But like it's not as toxic, it's like nothing like that. The writing somewhat reminds me of it, but yeah. I love this. Amazing. And then, I kid you not, this book and Long Way Down are like tied for my favorite book of this year. I say that, but then when I film my top 10 books, I'm gonna struggle. But I stand by it right now. I read Caught Up. Now, Caught Up is, if you don't know, it's the third book in the Windy City series. First one is Mile High, second one is The Right Move, and this is the third one. I believe there's gonna be 5 books. And this one follows Kai and Miller. And Kai is a baseball player. You meet him in The Right Move, and he's a single dad. And basically, he's like very protective over his son. He like fires every nanny that he gets, and so his manager / coach is like, I'm done with this, like you need to pick someone or I'll pick him for you. He ends up picking for him, and then now we go on to Miller. Miller is this high-end pastry chef who won the most prestigious award in the industry. And so she's desperate to prove that she deserves it, but she gets in this burnout. She burns out. She can't make a dessert. She can't do anything. And she goes back home to her dad, and her dad's like, perfect. Take the summer off. You'll travel with us. And she starts nannying for Kai. And that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm literally gonna say. This book has not left my mind. Like, this is my Roman Empire right now. When I tell you I sobbed my eyes out reading this, there are tear stains in this book. I adored it. Like, genuinely so good. Kai Rhodes, he's up there with my book boyfriends. He's up there. So yeah, 5 million stars. I wish I could reread it for the first time. It's amazing. Highly recommend. If you haven't read the series, what are you doing? Go read it. So there's that. And then the latest book that I read, which was literally like 2 days ago, was Distorted by Nyla K. I was like, what do I read now? Because I felt empty after Caught Up. And I was like, I have a video to film, but I wasn't really in the mood to read either one of those books. So I was like, let me just put up a poll on my Discord server and let them decide. So I picked between 2 books, Grimstone and and this one, but I put them blindly so no one knew which one was what, and this one won. And so this is a prison, well, it's prison guard, but it's a lot more complicated than that. Prison romance. And Alabaster Penitentiary is sort of like a ghost institute. Like it's like where criminals go that to the public are perceived to be dead. And basically, what the fuck? Why can't I remember his name? Dash gets taken and goes to Alabaster Penitentiary. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, it's one of those books that can be highly like spoiled if I say anything else. I went into this blind. Like all I knew was it's MM, and it's by an author I liked. So I was like, okay, let's just do this. It gave so much spooky vibes that I was like lighting a candle, reading it at night, and it was such a vibe. So I highly recommend if you want like a spooky, like intriguing, sort of dark romance story. The plot twist, also didn't see that coming. It's not really a plot twist, it's like a reveal that I really didn't see coming. So there's that. Highly, highly recommend. I put the second book on my November TBR, which, here's a sneak preview. You'll see coming soon. So yeah, highly recommend this book. I highly recommend this author if you haven't tried her. Her books are not like the conventional like romances that we're used to. So if you go into expecting like a cutesy romance between like two guys, like don't. That's not what it is. At all. Like this is dark, gritty, like, yeah. And I'm so excited for the next book. I could burst. So yeah, those are all the books that I read this month. It is definitely not the most I've read this year. That's still February, which was 32 bucks. Don't ask, I was going through it. But here are all the books that I read, plus one digital. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe and do all that YouTube stuff you know how to do. And let me know down in the comments what you read this month. What was your favorite read? What was your least favorite read? Let's chat. And I'll see you.